Tuesday, in the wake of last month's deadly Monterey Park shooting, the LA County Board of Supervisors approved a series of expanded gun controls. Among those measures, banning the sale of large caliber, 50 caliber handguns and ammunition, and the carrying of firearms on county property except by sworn officers. The board also requested draft ordinances requiring liability insurance for gun owners and that all privately owned firearms be kept under lock and key. Board Chair Janice Hahn proposed a number of yesterday's measures, and Chair Hahn joins us now to discuss. Chair, thank you. We know you're very busy. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Always good to be with both of you.
Okay, so let's talk. I tuned in yesterday to your board meeting. It's a lot to understand as to what actually passed yesterday. Can you explain what did and when those go into effect?
Well, first of all, I made mention of it during the meeting that, it was last year that we asked our county lawyers to give us some options about what we could do in unincorporated county as it related to common sense gun laws. And I even said, who would have thought that when they finally brought their report back, we would be just weeks after the deadliest mass shooting in county history. So I think the feeling is it's still happening. What my motion did yesterday was ban the sale of those 50 caliber guns and ammunition. Those are the ones that have those really big bullets that do incredible damage to a human body. Also, the ordinance that would say no one can carry a gun on county property, like our county buildings, our libraries, our parks, our beaches, except for sworn officers and military. Those two passed, but we will also, they were the first hearing of this ordinance, so they'll come back February 28th. And we'll make it final. The two things that I need a little more work on is, one, we need to do a zoning ordinance that will keep gun stores away from where kids congregate, a 1,000-foot buffer. So schools, parks, daycare centers, we want an ordinance that says you can't have a gun store close to where kids are. And then the other thing was telling our gun dealers that we're going to require some new common sense regulations for them as well, like fingerprint logs, security cameras, no minors in a gun store, and also the need to keep an inventory of their own guns so that we will know if guns have gotten stolen or not. So those were my four that I brought forth. Supervisor Horvath also brought forth one for safe storage of guns in people's homes.
This is such an emotional issue, and whenever you talk about guns, you have people react. Here is what some of the critics said yesterday at the meeting.
The problem with guns is not the gun. The problem is with society and the people that don't know how to use a gun.
Keeping kids out of gun stores doesn't make us safe. Locking guns in people's houses so they can't use them to protect themselves is not going to protect anyone.
So some of the critics would say, look, the people that do this right are the ones that get punished by all of this, that it's really a lack of responsibility by people using guns illegally. What do you say to that?
Well, I think, and I was in Congress, for 5.5 years, and I still feel like if Congress would pass common sense gun laws across the country, that those of us who are in a county jurisdiction wouldn't have to put into place our own laws. But I think the majority of people agree with us that anything we can do, we should do, because I think what frustrates people is after each mass shooting, this feeling of people are doing nothing. So for me, as a county supervisor, doing nothing is not an option that I think is right. And we had all 5 supervisors unanimously support the idea of these laws going into place in unincorporated county. So I think most people want those of us who can do something to do something. This is not going to solve all the problems. We're not going to end the killings by guns, but it's something. And I do believe, or I wouldn't be a part of this, I do believe it will save lives.
All right, let's switch gears. We have less than a minute and get your thoughts on the COVID emergency declaration that remains in effect here in this county. We know that LA City lifted its a week ago. The state will lift its at the end of this month. When does the county lift its?
Well, it's time for us to lift ours as well. There is no need to have a COVID emergency anymore. And I plan to ask my colleagues at the next board meeting to agree to lift ours as well. And by that time, for it to go in effect, we're going to end ours. Hopefully, my colleagues will agree and vote. We'll end it at the end of March.
At the end of March, so a month after the state lifts its.
But honestly, we're not really invoking anything that the emergency allowed us to invoke. We're not continuing to have our employees be disaster service workers. We're not imposing mask requirements. We're not shutting down, any businesses. So I don't think we're doing anything that the COVID emergency would allow us to do. So it's just a matter of us taking the vote and ending it. And I think it's right. And I think the public is certainly ready.
Why not align with the state?
Again, it's just a matter of, I'm bringing it forward at the next meeting. It's time. It takes a vote by my colleagues. We only meet every other week. So I just feel like this is the right time for us to do it, and we'll do it. And again, we're not implementing anything through our emergency powers at this point. So I think everybody realizes that COVID is just not controlling our lives anymore, and it's time to lift our emergency as well.
And real briefly, now that the emergency is over, does Dr. Barbara Ferrer still have your confidence as the head of LA County Public Health?
Well, I think we've had a really rough 3 years. I think all of us were thrust into a spotlight that none of us knew really how to navigate it. I was trying to navigate people's health versus their livelihoods. And I think at this point, she's still our director of public health. But I do feel like over the years, it's been tough. And I think she did lose some trust from our public. And I feel like going forward, we have another health emergency. Public health is about making sure the public trust us and we can bring them along with anything we need to do to protect their health. And sometimes that didn't happen in the last few years. But we're going forward. It's the future. We've learned a lot of lessons about what we all just went through.
Okay, well, Board Chair Janice Hahn, thank you so much for your time tonight. We'll be right back.